My son blamed me for everything wrong in his life, so I became the homophobic dad he never had. My son has blamed me for every single thing wrong in his life since the day he learned to speak. And I don't mean the normal teenage, dad won't let me stay out past midnight complaints. I mean, if he stubbed his toe on the coffee table, it was because I bought the wrong furniture. Failed his math test, I didn't help him study enough. Got dumped by his girlfriend, I raised him wrong. So by the time he hit high school, he'd perfected the art of making every single failure in his life somehow trace back to me. His mother ate it up. We divorced when he was 5, and she'd been collecting ammunition ever since. When he got caught shoplifting at 14, she called me screaming about how my toxic masculinity drove him to crime. When he got suspended for bullying a kid half his size, it was because I'd modeled aggressive behavior. The therapist we saw together, he told her I was emotionally unavailable during sessions I was literally paying for. I tried everything. Took him car shopping for his 16th birthday. He test drove 8 cars in my budget and decided he'd rather have nothing than drive garbage. Paid $2,000 for his senior trip to Cancun with friends. He called me crying from the resort because I wouldn't put my credit card on file and he had to use his own money for room service. Every complaint went straight to his mother, who'd forward them to me with the same message. This is what you created. By the time he turned 19, I was exhausted. That's when he crossed the line. He'd been staying with me for the summer and I'd asked him not to use my car because I needed it for a late shift at work. But while I was in the shower, he stole my keys anyway. I called him 23 times. Nothing. The next morning, some stranger dropped him off and he stumbled past me reeking of beer and weed. Where's my car? I asked. He shrugged. Hell if I know. My car was totaled after he wrapped it around a parked pickup truck 6 blocks away and just left it there like abandoned trash. The other vehicle was destroyed too, and between the insurance deductible, towing fees, and premium spike, I was looking at $8,000 I didn't have. When I confronted him about it, he exploded and called me a piece of shit father. Said I'd ruined his entire life and that everything wrong with him was my fault before storming out to his mother's. I hadn't heard anything for 2 whole days. Then out of nowhere, his mother texts me, "How dare you kick him out for being gay?" I was in disbelief. Gay? That wasn't news. I'd known since he was 13, and I'd found his browser history. I didn't care then, and I didn't care now. But apparently, he told her I'd exploded when he came out and thrown him out like some kind of bigot. She'd already called my job to report my homophobia, my sister, my parents. She even posted it all over Facebook. Something in me just snapped. I stared at her text for a full minute, and that's when it hit me. You know what? Fine. If he wants to be a victim his whole life, I'll make him one. I'll give him the one thing he can milk forever. The homophobic dad who rejected him. I thought about what I was about to do. My reputation would tank. I'd lose friends, maybe my job. Hell, half the town would think I was a bigot. But sitting there in my empty house, looking at the insurance paperwork for my totaled car, I realized something. Even being the town homophobe would be better than another day of being blamed for every single thing wrong in his life. Let him have his sob story. Let him finally be right about something. So I typed back, "You're right. I can't accept his lifestyle choice. He's no longer welcome in my home. Send." As expected, the rest happened fast. My son screenshot my text, and it went viral in our small town. Lost some friends, sure. But you know what else I lost? The constant blame, the guilt trips, the arguments. My son finally had his perfect victim story. The one thing that wasn't actually my fault, but that he could blame me for forever. My boss, this red-faced conservative who collects guns and thinks liberals are ruining America, pulled me aside the next week and started rambling about how brave I was for standing up to the gay agenda. Made my skin crawl, but he also gave me a promotion and a 20% raise. So I actually didn't lose out on my job. A few months ago, he called begging for rent money, swearing he'd changed. The same kid who told everyone I was a homophobic monster now wanted daddy's wallet. "I'm sorry," I told him, "but I'm not paying to keep a gay in our town." I had to bite my tongue to keep from laughing. That's who he told everyone I was, so that's who I'd be. Click. 6 months later, life's never been better. No more walking on eggshells. No more being blamed for his failures. My ex-wife won't speak to me, which is a bonus. My son, he's making the rounds at college LGBTQ events, telling his story of overcoming family rejection. Even started a GoFundMe for queer youth with unsupportive parents and raised $12,000. He used it as a down payment on a BMW, wrapped it around a telephone pole a month later with a 18 blood alcohol level. His lawyer tried to argue that trauma from parental rejection drove him to drink, but the judge gave him 60 days anyway. He spent 19 years making me the villain of his story, so I gave him the ending he'd already written.